This is a short demonstration video of the Graupner EX-1400 charger. That's 1400 for 1400 watts when a 24 volt power source is used. I'm currently using a 13 volt 25 amp power source, so we're basically a 12 amp system. The first thing I'd like to show is the user setup. This is clicked on by this icon, and here we see a finishing sound, number 1. We'll activate that, and we'll give an up arrow to go to number 2. There's the sound. Number 3. Number 4. 5. Anyway, there's 10 sounds in all. You can set the time they're there for. You can have a beep on, inside or out. You can have the LCD bright. For the temperature scale, it's Fahrenheit or Celsius, and you just click on it, then move one of the action buttons. And so we're in Fahrenheit. And the sound volume is 5. What you were hearing is the loudest. So this thing is not going to be annoying unless you get to an alarm stage. This channel 1 indicates we're on channel 1. If we go over to channel 2, we go to user set. Here we have a whole different screen, and we can have different sounds so that when channel 1 is finished, one sound goes off. When channel 2 has a charged battery, another one goes off. This is the return arrow to back to the previous screen. We're going to go back to channel 1. Now we're going to go back to the main icon page. Profile is where you do your initial setup for your battery charge. This line is the name. You activate it. To change the number, you move the arrow. We're in program 2. To change the actual title, you hold it longer and you get to the alphabet. You can change it by clearing and then typing in. I have it named for a 3 LiPo 2200 battery pack. I have one of those on both sides. The name does not control what type of battery you have. The type does. Here it says LiPo. If it was going to be a different battery, lead, NiCad, NiMH, LiPo. LiPo's what I want. I have to change the voltage back to what I want. I want 3S, so we're going to go up 1. 3S, 11.1 volt. Capacity is defaulted to 1000 milliamps. I'm going to hold the up arrow and get it up to 2200 again. Oh, little short. There we go. Now, it's all set. Channel 2 is programmed. I'm going to go back. Now, if I had it set up with a battery here and everything, I could start a charge, but I don't. So I'm going to stop the camera, set it up with a battery, and then do some further demonstration. While the camera was off, I plugged in my balanced charger. I have a 2200 milliamp 3-cell battery. It's plugged into the balance board, and it's connected to channel 1. This is connected to channel 2. That's a mistake. Let's see what happens when we try to charge on channel 1 without a balance board with a LiPo. With no balance board, it should charge, but it should tell me that there isn't a balance board. So we start on charge, and we go to activate it. Starting to charge. It's running the battery check. Now it's confirming there's 3 cells, but it's strictly doing it by the voltage. And we can see this battery is almost fully charged. In fact, for all intents and purposes it is, but I'm just using it for a demo. I've got it set to fly tomorrow. So we're going to stop. We're going to go back. And we're going to demonstrate a different function after I reconnect it properly. We are now recording in the balance mode. I thought I had put the camera on, but I failed. So let's stop and start this over again with the camera on. We select balance from our main page. We confirm that we have the proper battery. Now we're going to hit enter, and it's going to start balancing after it checks and makes sure. Now it reads 3 batteries connected to the balancing port, which is necessary for it to balance. It can't do it without that. Here we see one cell is higher than the others, one is almost perfect, and one is a little low. If the battery pack is correctly formulated, if it's still working properly, this will come down and these two will go up slightly. Now they're not very far off, so we're not going to be seeing any radical change. In fact, it's working at 0.01 volts, which means that it's fairly close. If it were wider, it would be at 0.02 volts and working its way down, or 0.2 volts if it was a real big discrepancy. So it is balancing this battery pack. The middle one just went up a bit. The left one has gone down a bit since we started. Again, we're just giving a demonstration. We're not going to wait till the battery's fully balanced. That would probably take 5 to 10 minutes. Because it slows down as it gets very close. I will basically go for real close approximations and then stop the process if the battery was healthy to begin with and fairly balanced. I was getting a little closer to where it should be. We'll give it another 30 seconds and see what happens. Okay. Green went above the line. Ideally, everything should be at the line when you're done. Now it's back down a bit, closer to the line. The red is closer to the line, and the yellowy orange is closer. So we see that it is balancing, it is getting there, and it would soon be there. Okay, while the camera's off, I came back to the main page. Again, profile is where we program for the batteries, 20 per channel. Charge is for charging them, discharge, discharging, cycles them through, particularly for NiCads and NiMHs, which have to be run or they will get stuck where they're at. I don't bother cycling LiPos. I do balance LiPos. You need to use the balancing board for that. I also balance my LiFe batteries. Data gives you some information. It's not particularly helpful. The user set we use at the beginning to set up our program. There are some more pages there that you can go into more detail. Here are the miscellaneous. There's a servo balance tester. There's a motor tester. Requires an optional piece of equipment. The warmer for tires or for LiPos requires an optional piece of equipment. So these two can't be tested. And the speed controller test requires a Graupner speed controller, I believe a T version. I don't have that. So the only thing I've tested over here on the side is the servo one, but the servo one down here. The other areas I have not tested. While we're at it, there's another item up here at the top. There is a plug-in for a USB port right there, cable, and that is for upgrading the firmware on the charger. I've checked mine, it's 14.05, and although update came out in July, I don't need to update because I have the most current according to what they advise. So we're on channel 1, we're going to activate the charger, we're going to get it going. It's confirming that the balance port is connected, it will do the countdown, then it'll do another check, all of which is to make sure we don't run the wrong size battery. Now I can confuse it if I have the wrong milliamps program, but if it's a 3-cell LiPo, it'll get going, and only after it's charged for a while will it shut off if I have the wrong milliamps. But if I have the wrong cell count or the wrong type of battery, it won't let me start charging at all. Now we're discharging right now, and so it's going down, and you can see it's discharged right there. Now, if I wanted to work another battery, I would activate channel 2, have to have the connectors in down below here, the wires and the balance board, and I could select a battery to work on there. These are my channel 2 ones, and let's go up to say 12. There we see a Life battery, and I have it 6.6 because that's 6.6 volts, and it's 3200 milliamps. It's 2 cells. I could charge it if I had things connected up. So channels 1 and 2 can charge at the same time. You can only monitor one of them at a time. We'll go back We're monitoring our discharge of the LiPo there. And it's discharged for 1 minute, taking out 37 milliamps so far. And there in a nutshell is how the Graupner charger works. Now normally when I'm charging, I use LiPo sacks or my ceramic bomb shelter, which has a top that loosely fits on, has space for the wire to come out, and if it catches on fire or I have a problem with my battery, it's contained. I usually have it on top of a tile in another room, but it's kind of warm today in there, so I'm out here in the family room where it's more comfortable. Again, protect yourself and protect your home by properly using a LiPo sack or a ceramic bunker or other device to protect yourself if there's a problem. And the best way to avoid a problem is to be there to monitor the situation while your battery is charging. You get two temperature sensors. They plug into the front of the Polaron charger, and you can put it right on the battery, tape it there with some Scotch tape, whatever you want. It will read the battery temperature in Celsius or Fahrenheit, as I showed at the start of the tape. It is to give you a warning if your battery is getting too warm. You can program that and have an alarm go off. I am there monitoring during this testing procedure, so I didn't use it, but I have tested it out. There are pictures of it giving Celsius readings, which were room temperature. I had no problems with overheating batteries whatsoever during the course of this review. Okay, one more thing to demonstrate. I've hooked up a brand new 6-cell 5500 battery pack. It's on the 6-cell balancer. It's connected. Its star connector is connected with a DIN connector. It is a really nice battery. I've had these before. Flight Power, the FP70, 70C. It can be charged at a high rate when needed. So I've set it on channel 2. We are at the battery. Let me get out of the profile, go to charge. We will start the charging process. I have already clicked it on fast mode. If I didn't want it to be fast, I would click there and move the arrow. That is normal mode. Now it's starting over. We're going to go up though to fast mode. See how it started over to start the process. Now, it can only charge as fast as it has wattage to put in, and I'm using, as I said, a 13 volt 25 amp battery charger. So we'll see what's the maximum it can give me. The battery's at 23 volts. It's giving me 5.50 amps right now, and you can see it's moving milliamps fairly quickly. But if I had it set for 24 volts in my setup, it would be charging even faster. So the size of your power adapter or power source, if you're using a battery, is critical to how fast you can charge the larger batteries. I'm looking forward to getting the new power adapter for 24 volts designed for this charger. It is coming out in December of 2015, later this year, and I'm looking forward to testing that out and further testing this charger, which I have been very happy with. Now there's usually a interruption where the voltage goes down before we get too far past the middle here, and we'll see if we have that. Yep, there we go. I think that's a built-in testing just to see how things are working. Anyway, it's charging at a rate of 5.5 amps a second at this point. And that completes this review.